This £20,000 Audi cost me 8 grand, and it only looked like this a couple of weeks ago. And only in a few weeks, we've got this car built back up pretty much at the front end, running, and completely changed the whole interior because every single airbag was blown and the seat belts were locked out. That is how you get it done. But this car isn't finished, and that's not good enough. In today's video, we're going to be completely finishing this up and getting it on the road, hopefully. And then, more importantly, we can total up how much I spent on this Q3 and see if it was worth it all along. So the first thing I really want to tackle is pretty much getting this front end looking more like a car again, not so much a skeleton. We've got some bent brackets down here for the wing, we've got a new wing to put on, and of course the headlights. The passenger side wasn't damaged, so that's all good, but we've now got a new driver's side, so let's get to all of that. So starting off with the headlights, because I really wanted to see if they were working, I swapped over my balances onto the new headlight, and you'll see in a minute this comes back to bite me. But before putting the headlight in, it was just quick and easy to swap out these two brackets that were damaged from the accident. Right then, there we go. Headlights are just loosely in for now because they're going to be in and out constantly. But I want to test them, so they're plugged in. Let's get the battery connected and let's see if, well, we know this one's going to work, but hopefully changing the ballast, they're the exact same part number, it should work. Let's see. Right, we've got the key. Let's see what we get. We've got ignition. I can see some reflections of light. Okay, that one and that one. Oh, the DRL's not. Okay, yeah, so the DRL's working on this one and not on this one. Might be the modules inside. I'll have to have a good look, but let's see what else works. Yeah, same again. Indicator's not working, but is that side. Oh, the main beam works. How else do we test these lights? I don't know how you work them, to be honest. I bet they're auto. Yeah. Auto, off, auto. Ah, it's all on the dash. Dip lights. Okay, that's what was on earlier. Side lights. Yeah, nothing this side. And then just the DRL. Okay, let's investigate that then. Yeah, so the only other module that I can actually take out is maybe this long one, which looks like it does connect to the DRL. That one at the back, I can't see any screws for it, but we'll try this one, see if we get the DRL into life. Whoa, okay, I've never seen a DRL module before. I mean, the S5s were a lot easier than this. That was pretty awkward to get to, and it just pushed on. It's weird, but I'll get on the other one, see if it works. Yeah, I'm a total idiot. I should have checked before. I just took this panel off and the DRL unit's not even in there. So just like that ballast wasn't, so obviously that's why it's not working. Right, take two now. Let's get, right, what do we press? I think it's just side lights. Yes! Mate, them DRLs are bad boy. Class. Result. Look at that. Mean. Mean. So, now we know the headlights work. I've quickly took them out because I'm going to be constantly tweaking those brackets. So, I've got the wing out. Here's the new one in the exact same colour. There's a few marks on it, but can't moan for the price. I'm sure we'll be able to get Bosworks on them, see what they come out like. If not, we can maybe get a smart repair. But let's see how we can just mock it up and see how it fits. Lighting panels up has got to be one of the longest jobs on rebuilding cars, especially on this Audi's wing. It's not like the S5. There is lots of adjustment, especially with those two brackets down lower. They really give loads of different angles. Usually on the top you can just go for the paint marks and you're pretty sound. But yeah, with these lower brackets, it proves difficult. Okay, so the wing is loosely on. There's only a few bolts. Obviously we've got loads to put in back here, but the gaps are actually looking all right. The headlight's drooping at the moment because I've only got 2 fixings in at the top. I don't know what you'll be able to see, but this bracket that I'm constantly messing with has a headlight fixing point, and when I push it up, the actual headlight isn't too far off. It needs to come up at the top a little bit, but they do taper down. So yeah, I don't think we're too far off, but this is the part that's going to take so long because there's so many adjustments on Audis. But yeah, it's looking good, and the colour match is bang on. Bang on. So to get this bonnet to perfectly line up with these wings, I realised these bonnet hinges have slightly gone over. Obviously the force has sent it this way. So we've got 2 new bonnet hinges, gave them a dusting in some grey to make them look nice when they're on, so you'll never know. So yeah, we're going to have to take both wings back off. I presume this scuttle panel, and then bonnet off, new hinges in, bonnet back on. So let's do that. Annoyingly, unlike other cars I've worked on, this Audi's bonnet hinges are actually hidden behind the scuttle panel and the wing. So off comes the passenger side wing, which is annoying because it's perfectly fine. But then we move on to the bonnet, and that reveals the scuttle panel, so we can get it off and get to the hinges. But of course, it wasn't that simple, because you've always got to have a battle with some wipers. I probably should invest in one of them wiper pullers. But with it all out of the way, it's simply just make a note where the hinges are meant to go, take them off, put the new ones on, and then the bonnet goes straight back on. Boom, easy as that. We've got the bonnet back on, and now, if I just move this down out of the way for now, I'm going to shut the bonnet. It's shut in so much nicer. We've got an even gap with the bonnet to the window. If you take that as a reference point, it's pretty much in line with that A-pillar, and then it's exactly the same this side. If you can remember, the bonnet looked like it had took a shunt and gone over and up, and now it's nice and level. So hopefully we can get the wings back on and line it all up nice. But before messing with all of that, there's one thing I wanted to completely finish off, and that's of course the interior. The last thing left is the roof liner to go in, and it just pushes into place along with all the sun visors and handles pretty much holding it in. But if there's any Audi designers out there watching this, don't talk to me. I don't want to know why you made a clip with a special tool for a sun visor. Doesn't make sense. So with all the roof liner pinned up, let's move on to the next task of lining these wings up properly with the bonnet, so we can get this car nice, ready for the headlights to final go in and the bumper to be fitted up. So I went on for the next hour of my life, I'd say, just going each side of the car, lining the wings up best I could for now. There's always going to be that final adjustment, but that's when the car is fully put together. I am absolutely freezing, but we've got the wings for the first time pretty much lined up. If I spin the camera around, I'm pretty happy with this side. If anything, it's a little bit too close. So we're going to adjust the bonnet slightly, and we should be able to close up this gap. I've got to bring this wing slightly out here. As you can see, it's a bit too wide at the top. But then, it's actually pretty bang on. The same with the door gaps. Got that this side. And then if I shut this door, obviously we've got the trim I need to clip back in. Pretty much bang on the same this side. So yeah, I mean, this is the lengthy process that so many people don't show when rebuilding cars, but it's all part of the process. It's got to be done. It's got to be right. If you have made it this far in the video and you are enjoying the content, make sure to drop a subscribe. It's completely free and it will be massively appreciated. This year we're leveling up the content and you don't want to miss it. Now this looks sick. Bosh, look at that. The paint match on this bumper, it's worth its weight in gold. It was well worth spending the money on a complete bumper. No issues whatsoever. Just need to put the headlights in, fit up some other trims. We're pretty much done, boys. Yeah, this looks sick. And then finally, the headlights could go in for the last time. Check this out. Hang on. Oh, sick. This looks unreal. Question is, do we go black or chrome on the badge? This thing is so close to being fully complete. Literally, we've had this, probably about a month now, and I only work on this when I have spare time, so we're absolutely flying with this. So next up, just pretty much get the wiring harness in the bumper. I just wanted to fit it up to see what this car would actually look like, but yeah, so close now, so close. So the parking sensor blanks in and the wiring loom and the radar down at the bottom, this should be the final fit of the bumper. Now we've got the crash foam. I don't know how you're meant to fit it. Literally, it doesn't sit any other way. So I've just cable tied it on. It's perfectly good enough. So yeah, we'll plug it in. I'm pretty much there. Right, let's see if it's got enough give. I think it has. Which one does this go? I'm being thick. It's a square and a circle. I'm trying to put the circle in the square. There we go. Nice. Just put that to there. And fit it up. Next up, we've got this small plastic piece that I've actually done a little plastic repair on. So let's get it in. Slide under here, please. Right, I've ended up actually taking half of it apart because it does come apart. Let's see if we can get it in there. Right. Maybe it should have been on with the rad pack. Probably would have been the likely answer. But with everything done, it's time to get the Q3 buttoned up, serviced and ready to get back on the road. So with the Q3 all serviced and pretty much all buttoned up, bar that little badge there, it's time for the plates. And Great Plates UK sent these out to us. He's a really cool guy on Instagram. Go check him out. He does 3D, 4D, standard, all of that. Fast shipping, it's just what you want. So shout out to him. Let's go put these on. Right, it's absolutely freezing. Let's get a bit of heat into them. I hate pushing grills. It just feels like they're gonna break. Bosh, there we go. So here we are, actually driving in the Q3 for the first time, and it's been brilliant. It drives so smooth, the gears feel great. We've got pretty much no faults on the dash apart from a pre-sense one and a tyre light, so I'd say that's a win. Just needs a calibration, some air in the tyre, and we're all good to go. I didn't actually realise how good this car is. It's got wireless CarPlay, so that's a bonus if you ask me. But of course, we're going to find somewhere to pull up, show you the car, and more importantly, we're going to have to go through how much this car has cost me to rebuild.
I see the flaws been beneath me, crazy how it's easy to see. Nah, nah. I let it move and control me, gone with the stars, don't even try to get me back for the night. I feel love like Donna, do what I want all summer, fly like a star.
And here we are with the Q3 all wrapped up. There's a few small things that we need to finish, of course, like the missing badge on the front. We've got an arch line missing and an under tray to fit, but it's pretty much there. There's nothing left, and mechanically it seems to be spot on. I'll test it for a little bit and then it will be going to the new owner. And you're probably thinking, how much did this all cost me? So let's jump back in the car because it's absolutely freezing and we'll break it all down. So the all important cost breakdown on the notes app as normal. We know, I've said it openly, I got this car for £8,000, which is ridiculously cheap, but there was a lot of damage. Mainly, I presume people were put off by the interior. Everything was gone. But that come in clutch. I got a full interior kit for £1,000, which is a very good deal. And then I'm not going to run through everything because the list is very long, but totaling it all up, I've spent so far just under £2,950 on parts. So with a few things that I'm still going to have to buy, let's call it £3,000 on parts. My labour is my own choice, so that doesn't matter. So all in, we're at £11,000 for a 2020 Audi Q3 that's got 38,000 miles on it. I'll put on screen now, there's ones for about £19,000, upwards of 20, some of them. So with it being a category car, you do the maths. I think we've got a pretty good deal here. But unfortunately, or fortunately for her, someone is getting the keys to this car. Let's be honest, for a lot less than it should be, but it's going to a good person. It's going to be staying in the family, and it's a solid car. So, yeah. But if you have enjoyed this series on the Q3, make sure to subscribe because this year we're going to be hitting the ground running with these rebuilds. We're already looking for the next car, and it hopefully should be something good, and maybe even something for myself. You never know. But yeah, if you have enjoyed, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.